Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Darth Slone, your official partner content creator for Expansive Worlds, and I'm out here right now using my method, my technique to find all these drink zones. And this works for any map, but we are on Nepal, Sundarpatan, early access. I'm preparing for a stream here in a little bit, and I just wanted to find a few more zones. Now, the good thing about this is as you come across zones and you click on tracks, check your map, see how big those tracks are. I already have 4 or 5 diamond potentials. I've not spotted them. Now, that's the negative. You're not going to see, you'll see them fleeing sometimes, but you're not going to know how. You'll know the weights, but you won't know what level they are because you don't get to spot them using this method. But you cover so much ground and you find so many zones. And then when you do come across those max weight tracks, screenshot it, make a note, go back and check, and maybe you have some possible diamonds and you can kind of pinpoint where they're at that way. Now, as you see here, we don't see any zones because I just turned my light off. Now, visually, my light is still there, so I don't know if that's a bug or what, but I just hit the L button again and there's my light back. Now, that's something, normally when you hit the L button, it turns your light off. It's showing like my light is off because all the tracks disappeared, but I don't know if this is a new thing with this. Maybe it's just this beta build that we're on, but make sure your light's on is my point, or you won't see the tracks just like that right there. Even though the light's supposed to be going out, it's not. But anyway, there we go. I don't have these tracks. I don't know. I think probably blue sheep. Let's click on right here's what you're looking for. These little round puddles, blue sheep, 4 of them drinking there, and that's female 45. There's a 55 to 65, nothing to get excited about. I could click around. If I were to find a 65 to 75, then I would just mark where it is. And I've got some blue sheep that are marked right now. But that's what I do. And I'm going to go over my favorite times. I've got 2 times a day that I like to set it to. One of them finds my afternoon to nighttime animals that drink during those times from like 12 to midnight, and the others from the other half of the day. So before we go any further, please hit that like, subscribe, notify bell, tell a friend, tell a baby, tell a mamaw, tell a cousin once you're moved. Come on over. Darth's showing us the good stuff. And not just Nepal, but you can use this for any map. And then once you have found all your zones, if you want to target an animal and use your tents on one animal, you find your favorite drink zones. Now, some animals don't drink on here. For example, woolly hair do not drink, tar do not drink, and that's the new great one. That's going to be a challenge. Gray lag don't drink, but with the gray lags, you just kind of, wherever you see them flying, if you put down decoys, you can usually pull them into that area, but you got to see them flying above. Make note of that. That's where you can find them. Snow leopards don't drink either, but the other animals do. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 animals that don't drink on this map. 9 of the animals do drink. Even the tigers drink. So I'm going to drive around. The red muntjac, for example, I know is in the south. So if I were to go probably run this river right here, I would find some red muntjac. But something hit me just now. Never noticed this before, and I wanted to throw this in this video. When I search this river, I'm expecting to see black buck, tigers, red muntjac. When I was traveling down through here and it turned 0-100, that starts a new day, right? Well, all of a sudden I stopped getting tracks. For a long way down this river, I stopped getting tracks, stopped getting zones, stopped getting tracks altogether. And it appeared to me, I was like, it's a new day. I bet you it deleted all the tracks. I bet you at the start of new days, it is the next day now, at 0-100, all the tracks get deleted. Now, I'm not 100% positive about this, but I decided to come and check it, and I really believe that's what's going on. You guys can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. But what I decided to do to test it is I've been hitting this. This is like a dried up river with little puddles along the way. And I've been hitting this. I started up here at this tent, went around this lake, and I hit this, and I just continued on into the river here on this side of the river. And I was just trying to knock that out and then go get all these little individual water hoses, because this is how I find my zones. Like, I mean, I have a lot of zones found already on this map. And a lot of people ask me, Darth, how do you find your zones so quickly? How do you find all these zones? And that's how I use the 4-wheeler method. I decided to test this because you can find your zones for a long time. Like there, that Tibetan fox, 17 to 20. These tracks will stay down for several hours, 8-9 hours after the drink zone's over. A long time they'll stay down. So I found this Tibetan fox zone not too long ago, real time. And as you see, it ended at 20. Well, it's just 4, almost 5 hours later. That zone should still be there, is what I'm saying. So all these zones that I have found, and I know the track should still be there, they're gone. There's not a single track around this lake now. So as you see, this is what I do. I drive around and I find my zones this way. This was loaded with tracks just a little bit ago, but I really think at 0-100, it wipes all the tracks off, or all the zones off. You know, any animals that move around after that, but I've not found any drink times after 0-100. The next drink time up will be Bengal tigers from 4 to 7. So from 0-100 to 4, we're not gonna find any more drink zones. You're gonna find some, I'm gonna find some tracks of animals that are just moving around and stuff. But all the tracks that were around this lake are gone now. So I really think that's what happens. I have my time at 1700 because I didn't start out initially looking for Tibetan fox. Because here's the problem. If you start out at 1700, maybe they've not made it to their zones yet. As you know, a lot of animals get to their zones late. So if I were specifically targeting Tibetan fox, but what I like to do is target several animals, and we'll get to that here in a second. But if I were going to target just Tibetan fox, then I would set my time for 1900. That way, they've been in their zone. Okay? Now, if you've been running around scaring things away, set it to 1900, exit out of the game, come back. That way, any animals that were scared or fleeing, alert, alarmed, or whatever, they're settled back to normal. That's the reason you do that. Because if you just change the time and go back, they're still scared. It doesn't reset their emotions. So, and I've heard Scarecrow say that a lot. You know, that's why he does that, because it calms the animal down if you've spooked them. Here's what I do to find multiple species. If I set my time for 1700, anything that drinks from like 12 to 1500, I'm still going to find. Okay? So I can find Barrasinga that drink from 12 to 1500. I can find water buffalo. Anything that comes after that, which, for example, blue sheep, 14 to 1700, I'm going to find them. If it's early enough, like right at 1700, you might even find some 8 to 12. That might be pushing it a little bit, because I find like 5-6 hours is about the limit that you want to test this on. The tracks start disappearing. At, we'll say, 18 to 2100, you'll start finding black buck. So we'll say once I've been searching around a lot, and you got to know your map, like in the south is where your black buck are. So once it gets past 1800, maybe I'm into the 1900 range, I'll come south. I'll start finding a bunch of black buck zones. Okay, like as you see here, black buck 18, 2100. I'll find red muntjac all along through here, this river and all these places. All these bodies of water, I'll hop my 4-wheeler and I'll drive around them in my 4-wheeler. Make sure your lights are on if it's after dark. and you can just hop off, click a track, and notice, I always do this. You see here, it says 1450 to 1900. I have been taking screenshots of max weight animals. Whenever I click on a track, I always check my map and see how big that animal was that was in that zone. And I've got 4 possible diamonds that I'm going to go back right to those zones during my next stream. And even though I've not spotted those animals and I don't know what they are yet, it's got my blood pumping, you know. I'm like, I got to go see what those are. So I'm saving those for my next stream too. So if you stream, that's another idea for you. You know, I've not spotted them with my binoculars. You're going to scare all the animals off. They're going to be gone. Like from 400 meters away, they hear that 4-wheeler and they're gone. But I take screenshots, and now I've got a possible diamond. I've got 2 possible diamond foxes. I got 2 possible red muntjacks. I got a possible blue sheep diamond. I've got 2 possible black buck diamonds. And so during my stream, I just pull those screenshots up and say, okay, I found max weights here, here, here. And I go and hunt those during those times. That's my evening animals. Okay. So in the morning time, I can set my time for, let's say, 11 o'clock or even 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm still going to find Bengal tiger drink zones, which are 4 to 7. I'm still going to find wild yak because it's, if I did it for 10 o'clock, for example, then I'm finding anything from 8 to 12 as well. And the Bengal tiger from 4 to 7, you'll find them still at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. You'll still find Bengal tiger tracks. You want to make sure that they're there. And this is giving you an opportunity to find multiple animals, not just one. Now, if you were just targeting Bengal tiger, then you would set your time for like 6, because that gives them 2 hours to be in their zone. Because here's the thing about the Bengal tiger. They might take off chasing another animal. Same with the snow leopard, but they don't have a drink time. I've seen 2 snow leopards chasing. I saw them chasing a wild yak. It's actually how I killed my last snow leopard. But if I set my time for 10 o'clock, I want to target all these morning time animals. I can still get Bengal tiger from 4 to 7. I can get wild yak. I can get nilgai. As it starts creeping on past 12 o'clock, then you're getting the barrasinga and you're getting the water buffalo. If I were going to find every animal in the game, I would probably set my time for 10 o'clock, and I would go probably 10 o'clock searching the southern 2/3 of the map. That way you're finding your tigers, do you a couple passes of that, or ever how long it takes to get to every body of water. And then if it has gotten up, past 12 o'clock, 13 o'clock, then you can go and target barrasinga, water buffalo. So 10 o'clock and 1700 are my 2 favorite times to find like all animals on the map. And just go about 4 or 5 hours game time and then reset. Do a couple passes each. You'll have a ton of zones, ton of animals to hunt. And like I said, screenshot when you come across those big max weight tracks. And then you can just go back and hunt them. And you found all your zones at that point. And then as you've killed diamonds, and if you want to start setting tents up to target specific animals, if you want to grind, then you can do that. You can go to find your favorite drink zones. All that work's done for you a lot quicker on the 4-wheeler. If I'm going to go search for Bengal tigers zones, this is very important as we end this, okay? If I want to go search for Bengal tigers, I am not going to set my time for 4 o'clock. Listen, they've not made it to their zone yet. That's where people mess up. People all the time commenting, well, I can't find these zones. What time are you setting your time to? 4 o'clock? I was just using Bengal tiger as an example, but whitetail, anything, any animal, don't set your time for when the time starts. They're lazy. They meander, or they have to walk a long distance. Sometimes they're not there for an hour to hour and a half after the drink time has started. If you want to get the zones and make sure you get all the zones, you go at least 2 hours after that zone has started. And you'll continue finding those tracks for, if we're talking about an animal that goes from 8 to 12, you'll still be finding 8 to 12 tracks at probably 1,700. Any predator, if you're looking for predators that go aggressive and chase other animals, mountain lions, whatever, or even the animal itself, maybe it didn't make it to its zone because it got chased by a predator. So you're not going to find 100% of your zones by doing this, but you're going to find a lot of them, and it's going to save you a lot of time. My name's Darth Slone. Hit that like, subscribe, notify bell. Bring a friend. Bring a mamaw. Bring a cousin once removed. Bring a baby. Tell them to hit that sub button for $3 free cents. We appreciate you. Let me know in the comments if you've tried this method or if you plan to and how well it's worked for you. We'll catch you in the next video.